Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a review of one of my favorite albums of the year, which is American Head by The Flaming Lips. The Flaming Lips have had some pretty awesome albums over the last 20 years. I've particularly enjoyed some of the more dark albums like Embryonic and The Terror, but this is an album that brings a little bit more light to the sound. I wouldn't quite call this album upbeat, but it's definitely a little less dread-filled than The Terror and Embryonic. And for me, this is the best album by the band that falls into that more optimistic territory in a long time. The whole album just feels super cohesive, and you can tell that the band had a very clear direction for the album and a very clear concept before they went in and actually got to work on recording it and writing the songs. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out and I'd really appreciate it. And let me know down in the comments what albums you guys think I should be checking out in the future. But back to the album, it opens up on a very strong note with the song Will You Return When You Come Down. Now this song hooked me right from the beginning, right from the introduction. There's that chimey glockenspiel and, things kind of start to wash out in terms of sound. I love the vocal melody and how simple it is, yet the chord progression kind of bounces back and forth between these two chords before it finally resolves and Wayne's voice finally comes in. And his voice sounds awesome. I've always loved the cracking emotion in his voice, even if he's not the best singer, technically speaking. But yeah, the song starts out pretty simple and then it just grows into something huge. All the instruments kind of swell and it's just an awesome experience when you're listening. The song that follows that is Watching the Lightbugs Glow, which, like a number of songs on this album, it's more of a transition song between two more substantial songs. I really enjoyed the pretty vocals from Casey Musgraves on this one, and for a song with no lyrics, it kind of tells its own story without having to verbalize that story. The next song you get into is probably my favorite one on the album, Flowers of Neptune 6. It's just a really emotional ride, and it's a really heartfelt performance by the band. The bridges in this are just really beautiful and really bittersweet, and they transition you into such a awesome chorus moment where Wayne's vocals just yell out, and you've got Casey Musgraves with the background vocals just meshing perfectly with Wayne's voice, and their two voices together just really nail down the emotion and just really pull it out of you. The next song is Dinosaurs on the Mountain, and it's just a pretty little song about wishing that the earth were the way that it once was. And it's another song with some great vocal melodies from Wayne, which I can say the same about the next song, At the Movies on Quaaludes. This one opens up with a cool piano ballad type intro, and the song eventually picks up with more musical density behind a kind of a swung beat. And up to this point on the album, you can really hear the emotion in Wayne's voice, and he's really pulling off some awesome performances. And that continues into the next song, Mother I've Taken LSD. Wayne's vocals again just take center stage over some really pretty strings, and his voice just makes you feel so much emotion at any point in any of these songs. Brother Eye is a song that I didn't care for as much as the others on the album. I didn't really care for the futuristic sound with the blips and all that kind of stuff, but it does turn into a nice song when Wayne's more traditional vocals do finally shine through. Although I didn't enjoy it as much as the next song, which is You and Me Selling Weed, because this one was another one of my favorites on the album. And this one tells a really interesting story over some music that's just really, really simple for the most part. Even over the introduction, it's just some strummed guitar chords on every beat, with Wayne singing over it. Even though it's so simple, it really works in this case, and it lets the story that Wayne is singing sort of take the center stage. The feeling that I get from this song is a false sense that you're on top of the world. Wayne is singing that we're the king and queen, but him and his girlfriend in this case are dealing drugs. I don't really know what else to say about the song other than that it's just something that you should experience and you should listen to for yourself. I do enjoy the tempo changing throughout the song. The song rushes forward at certain points, and it really gives you a feeling of what I would liken to like a drug-fueled ecstasy or something like that. It's just a really powerful song, and the music kind of backs those powerful lyrics. And I love every song on this album. All the songs are great, and the next one, Mother Please Don't Be Sad, is sort of a different turn on the album for the band. It's it's just a really touching and tender song, and the lyrics are so personal, and it just really allows you to connect with the music. And that song leads directly into When We Die, When We're High. And this is another transition song on the album that serves to kind of cross over between two more substantial songs. But I do like this song, and it's a cool breakdown. The fuzzy drums at certain points and the wah guitars just really bring nostalgia for some of their older albums, like Embryonic and Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. The next one is Assassins of Youth, which for me starts out kind of annoying. I didn't really care for the auto-tuned vocals on the introduction, but it eventually grows into a pretty good song, and one that I can appreciate on the album. And that goes right into the duet with Kacey Musgraves, God and the Policeman. This one's a short song, but it's really a short burst of genius level songwriting, storytelling, musical embellishment, and lyricism. The glockenspiel back from Will You Return When You Come Down makes another appearance, and so do the orchestral strings that are quite apparent on the entire album. And Kacey Musgraves is also featured on this song. She makes an appearance in some of the other songs, but her appearance on this song is much more of a feature and a true duet with Wayne. And I really can't say enough about how well their voices work together and how great they play off of each other. On an unrelated note, I didn't really like the music video for this song, so if you happen to run across it on YouTube, check it out, but it just seemed kind of corny for me. And the album ends on a song that I hate to call one of the weaker songs in the album because it's still such a great song, but I think that just shows you how high the bar is set by some of these other songs on the album. My Religion Is You, it's a pretty good song. Actually, it's a great song, but maybe just not quite as great as the majority of the songs on this album. So I've been listening to this pretty much every single day for the last several weeks, and it's just such a musically cohesive album, and you can just really hear the intent in the band's playing, and when they were writing the songs and the lyrics and everything. You could pinpoint any song on this album and say, okay, that's a song from American Head. And if I haven't mentioned it already, that there's a lot of similarities in this album to two of their other albums that I enjoy: Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots and The Soft Bulletin. And I would say that this album is the closest thing to those two albums, since they came out, over 20 years ago. But overall, I love the direction that the band has gone in and kind of revisiting their roots there. And it makes me really excited to hear what the band's going to put out next. And this album is definitely a 10 for me. It's my favorite album that I've heard all year. And even beyond that, I can tell that it's going to be one of my favorite albums in the greater scheme of things. You guys should let me know down in the comments what you thought of this album, as well as what other albums you think I should be listening to and reviewing in the future. And definitely like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. It really helps out the channel, and I'll be posting content consistently, including reviews and some other types of videos in the future here. With that, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.